the Eagles pep band, and you're watching CITV.
Hello and welcome to another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's Tuesday, September 26, 2017. We're at Colonials Stadium in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania for Suburban 1 American Boys Soccer between the visiting Cheltenham Panthers of Wyncote and the host Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials. The Panthers, coached by first-year head coach Bill Tonkin, currently 2-3 in the conference, 3-4 overall, while the Colonials, coached by second-year head Jeff Heaton, are 4-3-1 overall, 3-2 in Suburban 1 American. PW has won each of the past 8 meetings against the Panthers. In the stretch, the Colonials have outscored Cheltenham 16-2, including 4 straight shutouts here in Plymouth Meeting. And here's the opening kickoff, and Cheltenham will have it. Cheltenham's in the dark jerseys, PW in the white. Cheltenham's going left to right in the first half. We have 2 40-minute halves in regulation. Now, we do not have a scoreboard operating, so please bear with us. PW now with it in white, going right to left. Colonials are coming off a 1-1 overtime tie against Radnor at the Central League on September 23rd. All 3 of PW's non-league games have been against Central League foes. Lost to Lower Merion 4-0, defeated Pencrest 6-0, and tied Radnor 1-1. Radnor is the District 1 3A defending champ. Now the Colonials coming up with it. There's a good opportunity for Alex Lefkowitz. That's going to go out of play. And it's going to be a goal kick coming for keeper Justin Grady. Cheltenham this season has scored 11 goals and has allowed 14. The Panthers started 0 and getting my math here, 0-3, has won 3 of the last 4. And we have a whistle. I think we may have a substitution soon. So Plymouth Whitemarsh trying to go to the District 1 postseason for the fourth time in the last 5 seasons. PW missed the playoffs in 2016 after a 7-7 Suburban 1 American campaign. Cheltenham looking to go to the playoffs for the first time since 2010, when it was a member of District 1 3A in soccer. The 25th seed lost 4-1 at 8th-seeded Unionville. Panthers in 2009 lost at 4th-seeded Unionville 4-0 in the second round after defeating 13 Boyertown 1-0 at Owen J. Roberts. Now PW will kick it back to goalkeeper Patrick Corpus, the senior. PW has won 7 straight meetings here in Plymouth Meeting against the Panthers, having lost to Cheltenham since October 19, 2009 here. It was 1-0. And it was filled with controversy as there were a lot of questionable calls and should have been penalty kicks that weren't awarded. That's going to be kicked out of play. Cheltenham will get it back. It looks like right now with it is uniform number 19. And now we'll pass it back to Zach Garaffi. Garaffi will throw it in. Zach Garaffi actually has the last Cheltenham goal scored against the Colonials. Cheltenham hasn't scored in 2 meetings. It was 2-1 PW in Wyncote on September 22nd, 2016. That goal by Garaffi was scored in the 70th minute. It snapped a 2+ game scoreless drought. That was the last time Cheltenham has been held scoreless in back-to-back games. Cheltenham is coming off a 1-0 loss against Wissahickon on September 19th. Now going close to the box are the Colonials going right to left. There's Brandon Cohen. Cohen gets that one deflected and will go back to midfield. A couple minutes into this first half, it's Cheltenham 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. Again, we do not have an operating scoreboard, but it is 2 40-minute halves. Back to 2009, PW was 11-4-1 against Cheltenham. There was a 0-0 tie in Wyncote on September 30th, 2009. Jacoby Sandcroft went midfield, but that is kicked by Ben Smith of Cheltenham in the dark uniforms. Now for PW coming up is Ryan Clancy. Having it momentarily is Andrew Strickland, a junior, and that will go by the way of Cheltenham. It's 0-0. Approximately 5 minutes into this first half. Now a good opportunity here, and Corpus will stop a great shot by Wesley Pike. And now it will be a roll by Corpus in the PW end. Here's Brandon Cohen. Cohen going up the sideline to Jacoby Sandcroft. Sandcroft has scored quite a few goals this season, including a 2-goal game, and it was a big win, 4-3 overtime at Upper Dublin on September 14th. PW was not favored to win that game, especially on the road in Fort Washington. And we are sorry for our video quality issues that we are experiencing. So we have technical difficulties, and we're very sorry for that. But we're about 7 minutes into this one, and it's Cheltenham in the dark 0, PW in the white 0, Suburban 1 American Soccer. Last time PW had 2 ties at home was 2015. And that one is going to go out of play. It will be a goal kick for keeper Justin Grady, the junior for the Panthers. Cheltenham hasn't defeated PW since October 2nd, 2012. It was 2-1 in Wyncote. It was Cheltenham's 5th straight conference win at the time. It was a rain-soaked day. Cheltenham goalkeeper Jonah Katz saw his goalless streak come to an end at 239 minutes. Now here come the Panthers. Harry Stackhouse. Sandcroft had a ricochet. Stackhouse got it back. Feeds it off to Jake Ruckett. Momentarily taken by Andrew Strickland of PW, and that will be kicked near the sidelines. Ricocheted off Cheltenham's uniform free, Andrew Moreland. So right now, Cheltenham is ranked 39 in District 1 4A. PW is 17. The top 24 make playoffs. I think it's scheduled to start around October 24th. That goes out of play. Close to 10 minutes almost into this one. It's 0-0, Cheltenham and PW here at Colonial Stadium. Originally supposed to be at Field 8, which is next to the stadium here, but during midday on this September 26th, the field location had changed. Now PW kicks that one out of the corner, but it will be a throw-in here for the Panthers. So Cheltenham 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. PW this season has 2 6-goal games. PW hasn't scored 3 or more times since 2010, when it happened 5 times, which included a CITV broadcast back on September 24th, 2010, 6-1 win over Chichester. The Colonials led 5-0 at the half. We're approximately 30 minutes into this Suburban 1 American soccer match between Cheltenham Panthers and Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials here in Plymouth meeting. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's Cheltenham 0, Plymouth Whitemarsh 0. Cheltenham has 2 corners. PW has yet to take one from the corner. Patrick Corpus has made a lot of saves, and we are very sorry for any technical difficulties we have experienced, as we have hoped to have fixed it. And there's still no score, but should a team be leading by 7 goals, there would be a mercy rule, there would be a running clock. And this is not like college and the pros. I do not believe there's stoppage time after the 40 minutes are up in the half. In fact, the stoppage time is for after goals, maybe for some substitutions and water breaks. As we are past, I believe, the 30-minute mark in the first half, about 10 minutes to go in half one. Still no score. And the team hasn't scored more than 2 goals in a game in this series since PW won 4-1 in Winco, October 19th, 2015. And now getting water. The bottle is uniform 2 in the dark for the Panthers. Max Brown. Very hot day toward the end of September. CITV also plans on doing a conference game in October against Upper Dublin. PW defeated the Flying Cardinals in Fort Washington 4-3 in overtime back on September 14th. And that's going to be a critical game because Upper Dublin is front runner right now for the conference. A lot of these years, Wissahickon has dominated Suburban 1 American. PW for 2013 and 14 claimed first place, whether sharing or on its own. And there will be free kick, actually a throw-in from the PW, within the PW 25-yard area, where the Panthers had Zach Garaffi, who has a goal against PW in his career. And Corpus makes the diving save. Man, Corpus has been busy. So we are within 35 minutes into this one. Still no score. About 7 to 9 minutes to go in the first half. And Cheltenham has not been in overtime since 2015. PW is coming off a 1-1 overtime draw against defending District 1 3A champ Radnor. There are 4 classifications in boys soccer this time around for the second straight year. Now inside the box, Sandcroft was the intended target, but that was fended off by a Cheltenham player. Kicking in mid-circle was Max Lubbis, who has been on the scoring sheet this season. Now there's a good opportunity in the Cheltenham box for PW. Now that will be a diving save for Justin Grady. Gavin Hendrick was in the mix for PW to score, but Grady was able to snag it. And Cheltenham is 39th for the District 1 4A rankings, PW 17th. Now PW will try to run after it. Want to know how your team is doing in District 1? Visit districtscores.com, click on the desired season and then the desired sport to find the up-to-date records and rankings for each classification. In soccer, PW would be 4A. That's districtscores.com. Grady trying to make the save, and I think that will be PW's first corner of the game. For districtsstores.com, you don't even have to wait for rankings to come out once a week like in past seasons. Rankings and records are updated daily on districtscores.com. First corner of the game for PW. Oh, nice diving effort there by Grady, and there's a collision. That one's put through. Boom! Shakalaka! 1-0 PW. Or is it? If it counts, it would be Connor Smith, I believe. As we're toward 35 to 40 minutes in the first half. That was a dangerous play. Just waiting to see if it counts. If it does, I think it may have been Connor Smith. Connor Smith is getting congratulations. Uniform 14. Again, we're sorry if we have any uniform numbers, names, statistics mixed up. So there are a lot of players in there. But Connor Smith is getting hugs. Uniform 14. About the 35-minute mark. It's 1-0 Plymouth Whitemarsh, and the goal, we believe, by Connor Smith. Uniform 14. Now PW has scored in, I believe, 11 straight meetings now against the Panthers. Here's the kickoff for the Panthers. You can turn the kickoff in any direction, and I think right now we have a Cheltenham player talking to the officials saying that how that should not have been a goal. And if he keeps arguing, he could get a cautionary yellow. When a player receives a caution, he must sit out for 5 minutes. It's the 5-minute sit-out rule. I think Bill Tonkin, the head coach for Cheltenham, is explaining that should not have been. His player was getting harassed and maybe fouled, and Bill Tonkin obviously has been seeing what a lot of us has seen and been seeing. Got to be careful. No, you don't get a card if you keep arguing. Clock has stopped here to reset. And you hear Super Sub 1-4, so I believe Connor Smith did score. Yes, he doesn't score often, and now he's getting teased by Tommy Hoy. I think he may have scored in the past, but I think he's just pleased that he was able to get it in and count. And Bill Tonkin is still honking his Chinese at the official. He doesn't want to stop. I think the Cheltenham players are saying, "Stop it, coach, stop it." And make that 8 straight meetings here in Plymouth, meaning the Colonials have scored at least a goal over the Panthers. And Tonkin's not going to go without the fight, but he's going to say, "Oh, forget it." And the coaching staff still hollering at the official. Cheltenham will do the kickoff here. You cannot score directly on the kickoff. Within the last 5 minutes of the first half, it's Plymouth Whitemarsh 1, Cheltenham 0. Now going to the sidelines, getting a high five from Coach Jeff Heaton with uniform 13, Max Levis. Now we'll do the kickoff again. The officials may be discussing whether or not a card should be handed. I think Bill Tonkin is still yelling at the official. He may get thrown out if he does anything else. And he's still talking to the official. The official's going to still talk to him probably. Cheltenham's going left to right in the blue. PW going right to left. There's uniform 7, Chad Johnson. It's still in play, Johnson. And there's an opportunity there for Henry Welsh. Welsh will kick it ahead. It's uniform 2 for the Panthers, Max Brown. Brown will get a ricochet off. Headed, Sandcroft should be there. Did not collide, fortunately, with the Panthers, Zakarafi. And it's going to be PW possession down player. It's Hoy. He seems to be fine. PW wants to make sure that AJ Clegg does not need to come out to tend to anyone's wounds. She is PW's athletic trainer. For the last few minutes of the first half, it's Cheltenham down to PW 1-0. And look who's taken down with a push. Let me see here. I think John Tulane took down Jacoby Sandcroft. That was just outside the box. So it'll be a free kick outside the 18. Things are getting chippy here since that goal by Connor Smith if it is Connor Smith. Smith now talking to Gavin Hendrick. PW looking to improve to 5-3-1 on the season, 4-2 in Suburban 1 American. Last season, through the first 6 games in conference play, PW was 3-3. Now you have a wall, and Smith had the right idea, but it was wide left out of play. I think there's a new goalkeeper for the Panthers. Justin Grady is on the sideline. He is wearing a lime green penny. That one's put through. Boom! Shakalaka! Fist pumping is Evan Elgart. Uniform 17. Just as we are getting ready to go into halftime, Evan Elgart puts a header in. It's now 2-0 PW. PW now has more goals than in its last game against Radnor, which was a 1-1 tie. Beltonkin definitely is not pleased with the sequence of events in the last 5 minutes, as we're about to have another kickoff here for Cheltenham going left to right. In District 1 boys soccer news, the Upper Darby Royals had to forfeit recent wins against Strathaven and Bonner Prendergast because of ineligibility of 2 players who are enrolled at Upper Darby and misrepresented their eligibility to head coach Bob Denny. As soon as the coaching staff and athletic department discovered those Upper Darby players were ineligible, they reported the details to the PWHS, forfeited the wins, and dismissed the players from the team. The Royals enter September 26. 44th in District 1 4A rankings at 1-8-1. That'll be no good. No goal. That was after the whistle. There's a lot of ticking off here in the last 5 minutes. We're about to have time expire in this first half momentarily. So we have 2 40-minute halves and PW in control from the last 5 minutes on goals, we believe, by Connor Smith and a header by Evan Elgart, also on the bowling team. And we are sorry for any technical difficulties we have experienced earlier. There's Jacoby Sandcroft against Zach Raffi. There's Smith. It was intercepted, and now Chad Johnson trying to get up to it in uniform 7 in dark. Gold lettering for Cheltenham PW with red lettering and numbers. Out of bounds. Cheltenham with a throw-in. About 40 minutes into this one, folks. Of course, we had the stoppages from that debacle, whether or not the first goal by Smith counted. But the Elgart one was good. LPW wants to go into half up, maybe 3. Still in play. That's Hendrick. That's going to go out. And it's going to be goal kick. Again, that is not Justin Grady right now. In goal with the red penny. And we'll await the signal. As any moment here, we will get whistled to signal the end of the first half. And it's pretty much a defensive effort in the first 30 minutes, and then toward the last few have been chippy. It's 2-0 PW over Cheltenham. PW hasn't scored 3 against the Panthers since a 4-1 win on October 19, 2015 at Wyncote. By the way, PW has not scored more than 2 against the Panthers in Plymouth meeting dating back to 2009. Close to the sideline on Cheltenham territory. Going after it was Johnson for the Panthers. It's out of play. Whistle's going to be sounded very shortly. PW would like to take as much time off as they can. There's no shot clock, remember? Hendrick. Oh, good effort there. And that's going to be kicked out of play. I think he's pointing to the corner. Second corner, I believe, coming up for the Colonials. 2 corners apiece for the Panthers and the Colonials. That is the end of the first half. A very chippy ending here in the last 5 minutes, but after 40 minutes, it is Plymouth Whitemarsh 2, Cheltenham 0. The goals for PW believed to be by Connor Smith and Elvin Elgart. Very hard fought first half. We're 40 more minutes of regulation coming up. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. Stick around. More boys soccer action coming up on CITV. Welcome back to boys soccer action on CITV. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. After an interesting ending to the first 40 minutes of the first half, it's Plymouth Whitemarsh 2, Cheltenham 0. The PW goals were scored in the final 7 to 10 minutes of action in the first half. They were believed to be by Connor Smith and Evan Elgart on a header. We're now at the halfway point in the 2017 boys soccer season, so District 1 playoffs are about a month away. 47 teams are vying for 24 spots in the District 1 4A tournament. The top 8 teams receive first-round byes, but only 5 teams qualify for states. Seeding meeting is scheduled for Sunday, October 22nd at Wissahickon High School in Ambler. Playoffs begin Tuesday, October 24th. Again, PW is ranked 17th in the District 1 4A rankings, Cheltenham 39, so it's looking good so far, but PW would like to improve on its ranking. In terms of all sports for PW, the seasons were to end today, we would have around 4 sports in playoffs. Boys and girls soccer, field hockey, and volleyball. The girls volleyball team entering September 26th, 10-0 overall, 9-0 in Suburban 1 Continental. How about it? A 29 conference win streak, according to my calculations, for the volleyball team. And for Plymouth Whitemarsh field hockey, the field hockey team is currently ranked 4th in the District 1 field hockey playoffs. 3A. PW is 9-1, but 7-0 in field hockey conference play. Lady Colonials field hockey team lost for the first time this season on September 22nd. It was 2-1 overtime win by visiting Haverford High. Believe it or not, PW's last 3 regular season losses in field hockey have been to the Fords of the Central League. So perhaps PW's athletic department should not schedule against the Fords. But anyway, back here in soccer, it's the second half, and Justin Grady has returned for the Panthers. He's the one who had been involved in that debacle, whether or not there was a goal or not, but I believe Smith. There's a new goalie in net for the Colonials. It's Blake Rosen. He's wearing 33. Corpus is taking a breather. Did a fantastic job in the first half with those lunges. PW now going left to right in the white uniforms. Cheltenham going right to left. It's 2-0 PW. And PW has won 8 straight meetings against the Panthers of Wyncote. Now going in the box and now out. Now the Panthers are looking to get one that was taken by PW's Andrew Strickland. But now the Panthers are looking to advance. 1-on-1, and that was whiffed by Andrew Moreland. So Colonials getting, but now it's taken. Now here's Stackhouse. There's Stackhouse to Lionel Smuller Schatz. Schatz will take it in there. Boom! Shakalaka! 2-1 now on the goal by, I believe, number 5. Lionel Smuller Schatz. For the first time since 2012, Cheltenham has scored in Plymouth meeting. First 5 minutes of the second half start out very brightly for the visiting Panthers, as Lozen could not go to his left, which is our right, to the goal. The Lionel Smuller Schatz. And this is a ball game now. A couple minutes into this one in the second half, it's now Plymouth Whitemarsh 2, Cheltenham 1. PW has now allowed a goal in 3 straight games. By the way, the goal by Evan Elgart in the end of the first half snapped Cheltenham's 3-game streak of allowing a goal or fewer. Last time Cheltenham allowed a goal or fewer in 4 straight was October 8th through 15th to 16th, 2015. So it's 2-1 PW. First 5 minutes here in the second half. Again, we do not have a scoreboard operating, and Justin Grady will kick it off. And Cheltenham starting off the second half very strong. And that will be a foul against PW toward the midfield. Good sportsmanship as everyone gets up. Good sign, good gesture there by Max Brown, uniform 2. Now going right to left, Cheltenham at around midfield. In the dark uniforms, trying to get its first win against the Colonials since 2-1 on October 2nd, 2012 in Wyncote. Again, has not won in Plymouth meeting since October 19th, 2009, which was 1-0. Doug Roman scored in the second half for the Panthers in that one. The Panthers went to the playoffs as the 20 seed, defeated 13 Boyertown, and then lost to Unionville in the second round. That was the last time Cheltenham, I believe, won a playoff game. That was 2009. But PW definitely needs to regain the momentum if it wants to think about staying in contention for postseason berth, as we're halfway through the season. And PW has 1 conference game left to conclude the first half of the conference season. So as to play Quakertown, which had swept the season series last year against the Quakertown Panthers. That's how to play. Quakertown, after this school year, will return to Suburban 1 Continental, and Abington will join Suburban 1 American from the National Conference. So Alex Lefkowitz. Now PW going left to right there. Ryan Heaton. There's a spot foul there. It will be kicked by Justin Grady. In the first 10 minutes of the second half, it's Plymouth Whitemarsh 2, Cheltenham 1. Cheltenham scored early on in the second half by Lionel Smoller-Schatz, uniform 5. Now here's something cooking for the Colonials. There's Connor Smith with the first goal, puts it through. Boom, shakalaka! A 2-goal game for Connor Smith, and it's now Plymouth Whitemarsh 3, Cheltenham 1 in the first 10 minutes of the second half. How about that type of day, Connor Smith? Not usually one to put one in the back of the net, but he's definitely figured out Justin Grady. So in the first 30 minutes, there was no score. Now, in the next 15 to 20 minutes, it's 3-1 PW. So PW back up by 2. Now Cheltenham toward PW box will come up empty as Blake Rosen picks up the loose change. It is PW's first time scoring 3 goals or more against the Panthers in Plymouth meeting dating back to 2009. The first time PW's had 3 or more since October 19, 2015, when the Colonials went to Wyncote and won 4-1. So PW definitely picking it up. Colonials in the white uniforms, Panthers in the dark. Bill Tonkin, now he's exasperated. I think he's just going to stay calm so he doesn't get ejected after duking it out with officials in terms of his arguments late in the first half after Smith's first goal. So Connor Smith believed to have 2 goals for the Colonials, the other PW goal by Evan Elgart toward the end of the first half. And Lionel Smoller-Schatz made it 2-1 to put Cheltenham on the board for the first time in Plymouth meeting in 5 years. So Cheltenham has scored here for the first time since Devin Landgraf was the head coach at PW. By the way, the last time Cheltenham won here, it was 2009. It was at Colonial Stadium. The head coach for PW was Nicolas Severini. You know, the teacher who replaced Severini in the Spanish department, Rich Madel, is Jeff Heaton's assistant. Now an opportunity is there, and it's going to be picked up by Rosen. A good opportunity for Andrew Moreland. So about 10 minutes into this half or so, it's 3-1 PW. There have been 2 goals scored, 1 apiece from each team. It was 2-0 PW at the half. And keep in mind, PW has scored 6 goals already, twice this season. PW can get 3 more goals. It'll be the first time in 7 years PW's had 6 or more 3 times in this season. And that one shot, that's going to be batted by Grady. And held on. Good effort there. And Grady knows that every goal that goes past him is going to make it more difficult for the Panthers to claw back. And here's Harry Stackhouse. And that's going to be in there. And Rosen will take it. And hold on. So in the first half, Patrick Corpus, 40 minutes without allowing one in. Rosen allowed one in the first few minutes of the second half. Jeff Heaton on this hot day wants Corpus to get a breather. But when it comes time to the pinnacle part of the season, the penultimate, it is going to make sure all his players are well rested, because this looks to be a team that is destined for greatness come playoff time possibly. Most of the players have returned from last season. Now here's the shot, and Rosen gets ricocheted off, and that is kicked out of play by PW. It will be the first corner of the second half for the Panthers, the third of the game for Cheltenham. Of course, Cheltenham is the alma mater of Reggie Jackson, who was a good slugger for the New York Yankees, Oakland Athletics, and California Angels. He's in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. In fact, I think it was September 12th he made a guest appearance at Cheltenham and talked to the Cheltenham football team. Now about 15 minutes or so into the second half, it's 3-1 PW, 1 goal apiece from each team in this half. There's Smith. He may want a hat trick. He's got his sights set. Here's Smith. Smith will take it, and he gets it off the top of the crossbar. I think Connor Smith wanted the hats to be thrown down on him. He is not known for scoring often. And now we're going to have a player substitution coming in for the Colonials. Uniform 13, Max Lupus. He'll take over for Uniform 6, Sean Cranny. Cranny will get high five on the sidelines from head coach Jeff Heaton. Or he won't, actually. I think he wants a breather. Jeff Heaton looking for his first playoff appearance in the second year as head coach. The only head coach with wins, I believe, in playoffs for PW is Devin Landgraf. Now ahead here is Alex Lefkowitz. Grady's out of the box. He's out of his position, but he gets back in there, fires in, boom shakalaka! Gavin Hendrick puts it in. It's now 4-1 PW. Now PW just 2 goals away from 6. 2 goals apiece in each half, and Hendrick. That's already the 3rd goal of the second half for the teams combined. 2 by PW, 1 by Cheltenham. It's 4-1. It's the first time PW has 4 goals against the Panthers since October 19, 2015. It was 4-1 Colonials in Wyncote, where Panthers call home. We're in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, September 26, 2017. First time CITV is doing a boys soccer game this season, hoping to do a lot more. And that's a hefty trip there. Watch out. That's going to be a free kick from within 25 yards. And again, if anyone is hit with a cautionary yellow, it will be a 5-minute sit-out for the player. So it's 4-1 PW. And that's the 4th time this season PW has scored 4 or more. Now, out around about approximately 20 yards is And a player, I think, tying his shoe, trying to spot the positioning. PW's going left to right in the white uniform, showing him going right to left. Justin Grady's in goal. Now there it is. It is off a Cheltenham player. So it's going to be PW's third quarter of the game, the first in the second half. It's one apiece for each team this half, 3 apiece for each team in the game. Now PW is just looking to add on. PW looking to make it 8 in a row against Cheltenham Plymouth meeting. 9 in a row overall, and that's going to go not in. Nice deflection. Justin Grady knowing he needs to make sure nothing goes past him now, because Cheltenham needs 3 without anything from PW. Now for PW is Sam Cohen, uniform 24, and that's easily picked and secured by Grady. Close to 20 minutes, about 15-20 minutes into this second half. It's Plymouth Whitemarsh 4, Cheltenham 1. 2 goals by Connor Smith, 1 by Elgart, and 1 by Gavin Hendrick. Cheltenham goal believed to be by Lionel Smoller-Schatt, number 5 for the Panthers. Cheltenham has 12 goals on the season, has allowed 18. PW now has 25, and this is its 9th game of the season. There's no whistle there as it is taken by Jake Ruckett. Ruckett will pass in the top of the box, and Blake Cohen says no way. He'll pick it up, and everyone will go in transition. Still in PW territory, Jacoby Sandcroft, who's also a good striker. Sandcroft will throw it in. There'll be a whistle, so he'll give it off to a teammate. In Colonial School District renovation news, the Plymouth Whitemarsh High School main entrance nears completion. Ribbon-cutting ceremony is scheduled for noon on Saturday, October 7th. It kicks off the Colonial School District Education Foundation's first Foundation Day. Now within the first 20 minutes of the second half, PW in white 4, Cheltenham in dark 1. And Cheltenham snapped a 4-game goalless streak here in Plymouth meeting with that early second half goal by Smoller-Schatt. PW had shut out the Panthers 9 times, including ties dating back to 2009. There was a hold, but good pickup for Lefkowitz. Alex Lefkowitz is there, 1 against 2. Also there was Zach Garaffi, number 13, in dark. Ryan Heaton had it kicked out, and it's Cheltenham ball, or just a substitution signal. Chad Johnson comes back in. Now also coming in is Corey Albert, uniform 12. In the gold and blue. Zach Garaffi, uniform 13, checks out. So does Wesley Pike, uniform 11. So we are close to halfway through the second half, and we're sorry we do not have a clock visible for us to see, so just bear with us. But there are 2 40-minute halves. We're in half 2. Hoy! Sandcroft, he'll catch up to it. There's Jacoby Sandcroft. Sandcroft will fire, and it is secured by Justin Grady. Still 4-1 PW. It was 2-0 Colonials at the half, and in the first 30 minutes in the game it was 0-0. So 5 goals in the next 25 minutes maybe. It's incredible. And that's a whistle. Panthers will get it going right to left in the blue. And the next boys soccer edition of CITV Sports is scheduled to take place, I believe, the week of October 9th. It'll be against Upper Dublin in a key matchup. PW already defeated the Cardinals in Fort Washington 4-3 in overtime. Gavin Hendrick, I believe, had the winner in that one. Sandcroft also scored in that one. Now in the PW box, it's kicked out. It will remain with the Panthers. Next edition of CITV Sports is scheduled for Thursday, September 28th, 2017. Will be girls soccer between the defending Suburban One American girls soccer champs Quakertown Panthers and the Plymouth Whitemarsh Lady Colonials. Lady Colonials enter September 26, 6-2 overall, and currently in the top 24. I believe maybe number 18. Lady Colonials haven't been in the playoffs since 2014 when it went to the second round of the 3A playoffs and lost here to Owen J. Roberts, 3-1, which has Mahogany Willis as a senior. She was a freshman back then, and she had a couple of goals in PW's first and only second round playoff. And that was it for the Lady Colonials there. About 20 to 25 minutes approximately into the second half. 4-1 Colonials looking for more. Tommy Hoy, and that's a lot of dark uniforms. Picked up there by Ryan Clancy. Now advancing ahead are the Colonials in Cheltenham territory. Sandcroft. Now there's a good opportunity. Keeps it in. And there's a muff kick. There's Heaton, and that's out of play. Goal kick coming for Grady. 4-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh. And we have 2 40-minute halves. Still go out about 15 to 20 minutes of this one. Checking back in is Nolan Lockard, uniform 5. Actually, he's checking in. Checking out for the Colonials, that is Evan Elgart, who had the second goal of the game for PW on a header to conclude the first half. And again, if you want to know how your team's doing in District 1, visit districtscores.com. Click on the Fall Sports tab, and also, if you want boys soccer, the boys soccer tab. The playoffs are about a month away. In fact, homecoming week is during the first week of playoffs, the week of October 23rd here at Plymouth Whitemarsh, and we're hoping to possibly do a couple of games on Friday, October 27th, which is the homecoming football game for PW against Quakertown, but also that could potentially be a district quarterfinal for PW girls field hockey team. That's the win and then go to states game. If you don't win that, it's okay. You also got playbacks. 6 of the 8 teams that go to quarterfinals in field hockey will go to states. But for soccer, only 5 teams go to states, and PW has never been to states in boys soccer. Close call in 2014, lost 2-1 in overtime in the district quarterfinals against Central Bucks East at CB West. PW would have won that. That would have been the first ever state playoff appearance. And PW scored first in that one. It was 5-4, and Central Bucks East, I think, won the district title that year, and then the following year won both districts and states without a loss. And that Central Bucks East team included Evan Vare, who I think went to Lafayette of the Patriot League. Now Panthers going right to left, trying to advance it past midfield. They have it past midfield, but here's Jacoby Sandcroft and white for PW. Now Lefkowitz. Back to Hoy. Heaton. Now Ryan Clancy. Connor Smith we believe, has 2 goals, including one this half. Sam Cohen. That was taken care of by uniform 14 of the Panthers, Colin Boyle. Oh, there's a trip outside the box. In the box. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Sam Cohen has been given a cautionary yellow. He will have to abide by the 5-minute sit-out rule. That was about 25 to 30 minutes into half 2. And Sam Cohen is going to have to set in the penalty area. Uniform 24. So he'll have to sit for about 5 minutes, and the Cheltenham fans are coming alive. That was in the Cheltenham box. Ryan Heaton getting an explanation, and of course, In talking with assistant Rich Madel and also to Cohen. Sure, Cohen didn't mean to do it intentionally, but the way he was positioned was an unlucky situation. LPW tries to make up for what just happened. That's going to be offsides. Offsides is called. About 10 to 15 minutes left in this one. It's Plymouth, Whitemarsh, and White for Cheltenham in the dark. 1. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss, 2011 Plymouth Whitemarsh alumnus. Here at Colonial Stadium, this game was originally scheduled to take place at Field 8, which is next to the football field. But it's a good day to play here in the turf. Sun shining in the 80s Fahrenheit-wise. A lot of clouds, but not really anything budging in terms of maybe precipitation. It's a nice day. Sandcroft lost his footing, gets it back. Here's Jacoby Sandcroft. Now he's going to go past midfield. There's a lot of Panthers there, and that's intercepted by Ben Smith of the Cheltenham contingent. PW's going to try to run after that, too. 1 against 2, including Chad Johnson. And there's Zach Garaffi, who scored against PW in a game last year. In fact, the goal by Lionel Schmuller-Schatz is the first goal by any current Panther in Plymouth meeting, as PW had not conceded a goal against the Panthers in Plymouth meeting since 2012. PW had dominated the Panthers over the last 4 or 5 years. Again, PW looking for its 9th straight win over Cheltenham. Even though it's a new coach for Cheltenham, still that feisty Panther squad. Got another whistle. And I think the official may call another cautionary yellow. He's going to flash it in front of Cheltenham's uniform 12, and now guilty with that about a few minutes after Sam Cohen is booked is Corey Albert. We had no cautionary yellows in the first half. Now we have about maybe 10 minutes or so left in this game. Very chippy. Looks like I think it'll be a free kick for the Colonials coming in Cheltenham's end. So Albert's going to be waiting on the bench for at least 5 minutes per to 5 minutes sit out. This is not like Major League Soccer or college. Well, actually Major League Soccer, that is, where you get a yellow, you can still play, but if you accumulate enough yellows, it'll be as if you get a red card and you have to sit out a game. Now PW trying to advance it. And scoring in this game, we believe Connor Smith has 2. We know he has at least 1 in this half. Also scoring Evan Elgart on a header and Gavin Hendrick in this half. It was 2-0 PW at the half. Then it was 2-1 as Lionel Schmuller-Schatz got a ball past Blake Rosen. And then 2 unanswered for the Colonials by Smith and Hendrick. And PW is ranked 17th in the District 140 rankings. Cheltenham 39th. You may have heard earlier, Upper Darby had to forfeit 2 wins recently due to ineligible players. And have forfeited the games to Strathaven and Monsignor Archbishop Prendergast. LPW going past midfield in white, Jacoby Sandcroft. Now advancing it ahead. Oh, good feed there. Trying to get Hendrick to get one again, and there are a lot of Panthers in the box. PW gets it back. Heaton was there as well. Stop there. Shot is saved by Justin Grady. About 5 to 12 minutes left in this one. It is 4-1 Plymouth Whitemarsh over Cheltenham. A chippy win here. Cheltenham began the season with 3 straight losses. In the first 3 games had been outscored 9-2. And in the last 4 had won 3 of the last 4, but this is going to be a 2-game losing streak because it lost to Wissahickon 1-0 in Wincote on September 19th unless it gets 3 quick ones without conceding one to PW. Now Panthers looking to get 2 on the board. That will remain with the 1 by Smaller Shats. And there's another trip. Smaller Shats lost his footing, I think. So about 10 to 15 minutes or less in this one. Cheltenham in the dark uniforms down to PW, 4-1. PW up by 3. Now there's a free kick on the PW side. There's Cheltenham. Now here's Johnson. And Cheltenham's uniform 9 kicks it out. That's Henry Welsh, who could not handle it. Cheltenham will send 3 players in, 11, 8, and 6. That's Pike, Ruckett, coming into this one. Among those who are playing. Now we'll be throwing back in. About 5-10 minutes left. Approximately. 4-1 PW. Now taken away by Jake Ruckett. Ruckett is a senior. He's been a varsity player for the past few seasons. Ruckett had Cheltenham's lone goal in its last overtime game. It was a 2-1 loss versus Wissahickon on September 29, 2015. Blake Geiser scored the game winner in the 92nd minute, which is, I believe, the second overtime. And there are 2 overtimes if necessary, but it doesn't look like here. Opportunity coming for the Colonials. No whistle. Wow, there's a leg up horse collar type play that Garaffi did on PW, but I don't believe the official saw that. This was really dangerous. Very chippy, and that's kicked out of play. PW will get the throw in. Again, Suburban One Sports is Suburban One League's premier high school sports authority, providing athletes and fans the latest sports news, scores, and photos. Visit www.suburban1sports.com. This is the Suburban One American Conference Boys Soccer Showdown. This is the 6th conference game for both teams. Cheltenham coming into this one 2-3 in the conference, 3-4 overall. PW 3-2 in the conference, 4-3-1 overall. PW non-conference play 1-1-1. PW did not tie at all last season in a game. Cheltenham's uniform 14 checks in, Colin Boyle. I believe the 5 minutes are up for Sam Cohen. So Sam Cohen for PW and Corey Albert for the Panthers each were given yellow cards. Now Colonials with a few minutes left in this one. Look to add maybe even more. That dating back in 2009, there have been only one other occasion PW had 4 goals, but never 5. That was back on October 19th, 2015 was 4-1 PW. PW made the playoffs in 2015, won again here against Unionville, and then lost 4-0 at Central Bucks East. So 2 years in a row, PW had been eliminated from playoffs by the Patriots of CB East. It's kicked up in the air. This is not like volleyball. If you kick it twice in succession, it's multiple hits. You're allowed as many kicks as you can. There's a push. Of course, there's only a few minutes left here. And we're sorry we do not have the exact time. And again, there is stoppage for breaks and for after goal scoring plays for kickoffs. Now Cheltenham have a free kick from about 30 yards out in PW territory. Blake Rosen front of the net a few paces out front, and now that will be up the uprights. It's symmetrically good, but this is not football. This is football, but this is not the American version of football. Oh, and about 5-10 minutes left in this one, we believe. 2 goals apiece in each half for the Colonials. 1 goal in the second half for the Panthers by Smaller Shats. Cheltenham's first goal here in 5 years. Of course, these two teams will face off again later on this season. And Wincone, I'm sure Bill Tonkin is going to make sure his players are ready for that one. Because now it appears he has a grudge against the Colonials and maybe the officials. Not the first time the officials have been questionable here in a Cheltenham PW matchup. Go back to the last time, again, Cheltenham beat PW in Plymouth meeting 1-0 on October 19th, 2009. That one's going in, and there's Blake Rosen catching it. Few minutes left. It's 4-1 PW going left to right in the white. Cheltenham going right to left in the dark uniforms. Going to be a difficult ride back into Wyncote. It's not that far. I believe it's within 15 miles of Plymouth meeting. And the next edition of CITV Sports scheduled for September 28, 2017, Quakertown versus Plymouth Whitemarsh girls soccer. Quakertown last year in girls soccer made it to the second round of districts. I believe it was the 8th seed, but lost in the second round of playoffs in Quakertown. Quakertown has to make about a 31-mile drive here. Again, Quakertown will not be in Suburban 1 American after this school year. Will go to Suburban 1 Continental. Now, PW can hang on the next few minutes with this 4-1 lead. Will improve to 5-3-1. Four and 2 in conference play. Cheltenham will drop to 2-4-0 in conference play. 3-5 overall. Coming back in for the Colonials is Brandon Cohen. Taking the throw in now is Evan Elgart. We have another whistle. We'll redo it. And www.colonialsd.org/community/CITV. It's where you can find information about our programming. After we have plenty more editions of CITV Sports this fall. And hopefully we'll do plenty of postseason action like we did last school year. In the fall 2016, we did 9 playoff broadcasts, 6 for volleyball, 4 District 2 state. And the girls volleyball team currently 10-0, 9-0 in the conference. And Grady's good at picking up. He'll throw it to Max Brown. Brown will try to clear midfield. He does. LPW trying to send more numbers. Sandcroft is going after it for the Colonials. That's White. It's Wesley Pike. Oh, 2 players kicking at once. No one fell. Uniform 20 gets in there, I believe. Kobe Caps for Cheltenham. We out of play. Cheltenham should throw it in. Few minutes left, folks. Hang in there. End the game. It's 4-1. PW over Cheltenham again. I'm sorry we can't give you the exact time because the scoreboard is not operating. Here at Colonial Stadium. And we believe 2 goals for Connor Smith, 1 apiece for Evan Elgart and Gavin Hendrick for the Colonials. And Lionel Smaller Schatz had Cheltenham's first goal in Plymouth meeting since 2012. PW had 4 straight shutout wins over the Panthers. It was here. 1-0, 2-0, 2-0, 1-0. Now Rosen will take care of it again. Patrick Corpus started in goal for PW the first half and gave way in the second half to Rosen. Each team with 3 corners. 1 apiece this quarter, 2 apiece in the half that is, and 2 apiece in the first half. And we have 2 halves of 40 minutes in regulation. Just waiting for the officials to whistle the end of regulation. It's going to be a hard-fought win for PW. In the first 30 to 35 minutes, no scoring. And then, lights out. Party began. chippiness, arguing from Bill Tonkin on to the official. There also been 2 cautionary yellows this half, 1 apiece, PW and Cheltenham. Now Cheltenham going right to left, PW left to right, and White trying maybe get one more in there just for the fun of it. Again, PW this season, 4 games with 4 or more goals. Cheltenham has not scored 4 goals in a game since September 18, 2015, a 4-0 win against Norristown, now a member of the Pioneer Athletic Conference, back then Suburban 1 American. Upper Merion is now also in its 2nd year in the Pioneer Athletic Conference. Speaking of Upper Merion PW, on October 14, 2017, the Lady Colonials have a great non-conference volleyball matchup in King of Prussia against the Lady Vikings. Last season, PW defeated Upper Merion in the district quarterfinals 3-2. The first time in the 21st century, we believe the Lady Colonials defeated the Vikings, and that sent the Lady Colonials not only to the district semis, but to the state tournament for the first time in the 21st century. Now the Colonials may be looking for one more. That's Kobe Caps, who fended it off. Now Cheltenham looking to clear. Now pushing past midfield, but there PW. I think uniform 13 for PW had it. At that moment it was Max Lebus, a sophomore. Zach Garafi had it momentarily. On the kicking. Sent up by Colin Boyle. Sandcroft is there. And it is saved by Dustin Green. Again, we're sorry if we have any incorrect stats, names, goal scorers. Sometimes it is hard from our vantage point to see who scores, but we believe Connor Smith has 2. And we're pretty certain Evan Elgart and Gavin Hendrick have the other based on the uniform numbers on the rosters we have. And we believe Lionel Smuller-Schatz has the lone tally, and this one for Cheltenham as Blake Rosen makes the save. Number 33 in the orange shirt. Goalkeepers usually wear different colored uniforms. And shorts, sometimes long pants depending on the temperature. It's out of play, should be PW ball. Substitutions coming for PW. Coming in will be Sean Craney, and for Cheltenham will be uniform 12, Corey Albert, who was sent off for the 5-minute sit-out for that cautionary yellow in the second half. Few minutes or less to go. It's 4-1 PW. It was 0-0 in the first 30 minutes. It was 2-0 at the half in favor of PW. Then it became 2-1, and PW had 2 unanswered. Player falls for PW, gets back up. Stays in. Kicked out, but it will be Cheltenham ball, we think. Otherwise, it'll be a throw-in for PW, based on the way the officials are pointing. Actually, it will be a free kick from within 15 yards for the Colonials. And it cannot get the header. Be an interesting one after, and Sam Cohen can't run after it in time. Cheltenham will get the throw-in from the Cheltenham end. 4-1 PW. Minutes to go. Here in Plymouth Meeting, PW looking to improve to 5-3-1 overall, 4-2 in Suburban 1 American. It would be one game better than it did at this point last season. And we'll see if PW would move up in the rankings with this win. PW definitely needed to win this one against a team well below the top 24. Cheltenham was number 39. Alex Lefkowitz returns for the Colonials. Again, we're sorry earlier we had some technical difficulties. Fortunately, you did not miss the drama. Now past the center of the field. For more information regarding the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, visit the PIAA's website, PIAA.org. And that is it, folks. 80 minutes in the books. This was a good one from 30 minutes on in the game. Final score here from Plymouth meeting at the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials 4. Cheltenham Panthers 1. PW believe they have 2 goals from Connor Smith and 1 apiece from Evan Elgart and Gavin Hendrick. The lone goal believed to be scored for Cheltenham by Lionel Smoller-Schatz. The Panthers drop to 3-5-0 overall, 2-4 in the conference, while the Colonials pick up a good win, 4-2 in Suburban One American, now 5-3-1 overall. That's another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David. Be sure to check CITV out online, www.colonialsd.org/community/CITV. Thank you for watching.